I'm Andy Jorgis, and this is Dylan McCormick, and we're doing Chapter 14, which is Direct Marketing. Okay, so direct marketing is a wide, vague outlook on the total market for the consumer, the company, and everyone involved. It is a system of marketing organizations that communicate directly with the consumers to generate a response. So you research, you segment, and you evaluate the different aspects of what a consumer sees about your product. And so it's very similar to a planning model. Do you have a definition of direct marketing that you'd like to explain? Or do you have any examples of direct marketing that you know of companies that send out flyers, catalogs, mail, email that ask questions about something?
There's a lot of baseball ones that I've gotten before.
Okay. Sorry, yeah. So I talked about ESPN. They send out magazines and stuff like that. They have a lot of questionnaires in there. Credit cards actually very huge in this. Credit cards will send out much things through mail, catalogs, all different sorts of pathways to figure out what the consumer wants or how low rates should be, or if they can try to sell things on you. So those are some ways that people use direct marketing. So that's what direct marketing is, just trying to find an outcome of what they what the buyers are perceiving as their product is. So yeah, that's some of the examples also. And then when you use a tool, so if you hear the term tool in direct marketing, what would you think of?
I don't really know.
All right, well, we kind of touched base on tools because when we were talking about how they get things out to you.
Yeah.
So you receive things through the mail, direct mail or email. Direct mail would be things you get in the mail, like envelopes and stuff. Direct mail is emails. You get TV, so you get to see this stuff on TV. They, try to sell it on you, sell things upon you, and then you also get to go out and buy it yourself. So that's how they get their feedback through there. And then telemarketing. Do you ever get telemarketing calls?
Yep, a lot.
Boy, those are starting to become far and few, but it's still one of them. So what I got out of tools is that a tool is used in direct marketing media. It's how the company implements the communication process. You can see it in print, medias, every mail, telemarketing, like I said. It's just how a company gets things out to people. So that's the tool that they use. And then direct marketing and integrated marketing communications process has actually a lot of things that work together with it. There's three main parts that work together. The advertising, which you were talking about, the public relations and how they work together with the consumers, and then the sales promotion. So sales promotion is probably the biggest thing that direct marketing does with integrated marketing process. You see a lot of videos on the computer, TV, all trying to sell you things.
American Morning, the most news in the morning, period. Weekdays 6 Eastern.
Well, last year we gave away a free handgun with the purchase of any vehicle, and it went over very well. It spiked our web traffic. We sold, we estimate 35 extra cars during the promotion than we normally would have. And this year we're trying to sell an extra 100 cars more than we normally would. We're just trying to generate some traffic, generate some interest and enthusiasm and excitement, and it seems to work real well. We're not just going to give people an AK-47 gun. Felons buy cars too. What we are going to do is we're going to give them a voucher where they can go to their local gun dealer, or we have local gun dealers we would strongly recommend, where they can go buy a gun and go through the proper background checks, and so that the guns end up in the right hands.
So how much money does it? How much does an AK-47 cost? I'm just curious.
It depends. You can get a good AK-47 for $450, maybe $500.
Some people watching this might think, owning a handgun is one thing, but owning an AK-47 is something else, and maybe this is just a tad irresponsible?
It's a little grandstanding, but how about that guy that just had him and his wife killed that had the 12 children with the 7 guys coming through the door? I guarantee you he wishes he had an AK-47 as those maggots busted through his door and slaughtered him and his wife in front of his children.
Well, but others
for guns like AK-47s is home defense.
Well, but police officers are shot in the line of duty all the time, and they carry guns every day. So maybe some might not think that's a great argument.
Well, I'd personally like to have a sporting chance instead of just becoming a victim. I guarantee you those guys that broke through that door that used guns to kill those people did not have legal guns and did not go through the proper steps to get them. Those were all illegal guns, and I would bet my bottom dollar on it. I haven't seen the facts yet, but look, there's a bunch of evil in the world, and people need to protect themselves. Well, we're real firm believers. We're country folks down here. We live down here, and we're real firm believers in the Second Amendment, and we don't want to become victims. When I live out in the country 15 miles from the dealership here on 1,200 acres, the response time to my home is about 15 minutes. And if I'm counting on the police, and we have a great police force in Bates County, great sheriff, great police in Butler where we live, response time still 15 minutes to how great the people are and how good their intentions are. And I would rather defend myself. The only 911 call I need is chambering around.
Well,
and I think that's the case.
I mean, I grew up in rural America too. We had guns in our home, but they weren't AK-47s. I mean,
but how long ago was that?
When I was a teenager. What's 20 years ago, 30 years ago?
Things have changed dramatically. I don't know if you know anything about Missouri. Where I live in this county, there's a tremendous crime problem with people doing meth. And these people they've lost their souls. They don't care about you, they don't care about me, they care about one thing, getting more dope.
Well, I understand evil in the world, but I'm just questioning like a semi-assault weapon to protect yourself. That's all I'm saying. Your motto is God, guns. Your motto is God, guns, guts, and American. Why did you come up with that particular motto?
Actually, it's God, guns, guts, and American pickup trucks. Because we sell cars.
Right, but you include God in that, and you know, some might wonder why God is included in a motto that it also includes guns.
You don't have a problem with God, do you?
No, I don't, but the combination curious. Some people might, between God and guns, some people might have a problem with that.
We're a Christian nation. We're Christian people. I believe that 70–80%, I would guess, in this nation would classify themselves as Christians. I'd say 90% of the people in this country believe in God, whoever their God is, and to try and remove God from everything, I think is a huge mistake.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying putting God in a motto that also includes guns might be a little upsetting to some people.
You don't think God wants us to defend ourselves? I'm confused. You know.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't think
I could
God
ask
wants
you the
us to become
question. You know,
victims.
we could do the what would Jesus do? Would he carry a gun?
No, they didn't have guns back then, but I do believe he'd carry a sword if he needed it, but he was so powerful he didn't need any weapon.
That is true. Thanks so much for joining us, Mr. Mueller. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Hey, I appreciate it.
Okay, now we're going to talk about the direct marketing objectives. Do you have any idea what the objective of a direct marketing is?
To get the consumer to buy their product.
Okay, all right. Yes and no. The objective of direct marketing is to seek the direct response for the customers, mostly a behavioral response, which could be buying or just looking at the product. A few times, companies will also use objectives to build their image. So, Tiger Woods got endorsed by so many different people. So like Gillette Fusion for Men, Gatorade, all this stuff. And after his little whoopsies, they had to release him because he was not having a good image for the company. Not a lot of people want to be associated with Tiger Woods after he had his car crash. So, what's a database?
No clue.
So when you think of a database, what do you think of? Just in overall terms.
That it's the base of the data.
Not even close. All right. So a database is a listing of customers or potential customers, and it gives the feedback to the individual or to the company. So the database. So after I send something out to you, when you respond to it, I want to remember it. So it goes into our database. And so why would that be important for the company?
So you know the percent of people that are responding to the messages that you're sending out.
Good. So, it's important because it gives information about the person or segments of people back to the product and the company, and they're able to keep it. So for either future use, they can look into it and say, this is what they've done in the past compared to what they've done in certain times of the year. So maybe in the wintertime it's not too good to be trying to sell a motorcycle, you know, or during the summertime it's not be good trying to sell a snowmobile, you know, in that kind of a aspect. So, how do you score a database?
No clue.
You have no idea how to score it? All right, well.
I didn't even know what database was.
Okay, well, all right. Well, companies use it, a scoring method called RFM, which stands for recency, frequency, and monetary transaction between a company and the consumer. So, how would this scoring help out? Think of the three words: recency, frequency, and monetary transaction between the company and the consumer.
Well, the frequency of the consumer responding or buying the product, the recency, how recent they bought it, and what was the last one?
The last one would be monetary transactions between a company and the consumer.
How much money they're spending on the product.
Yeah. So that's actually really good, Dylan, for not knowing anything about the base of a data. A company can use this to track how recently there have been purchases. So how many, you know, when's the last time someone purchased it? How often a certain product is being bought. So I mean that tells you the number of people buying it. And finally, how much money is being spent to make the product, and how much money is being spent on the product. So hopefully you're not spending $800 to make the product and you're selling it for $150, because you're not making any money and you're hurting yourself. So they're trying to figure out what would be the best price to make it at and then sell it at. What's direct selling? So now we talked about direct marketing. What's direct selling?
To a certain market of people that you're directly trying to sell to.
Direct selling is direct personal selling or sales of the products and services to a consumer at their home. So right now will be a slide of direct sales and the 4 different ones and the percentages of how much. So some direct selling is people coming door to door and trying to sell you something. Can you think of someone that goes door to door and try to sell you something?
People that sell knives.
Knives, okay. So that'd be the higher group of it when they come face to face and trying to sell it to you. That's person to person selling. And that, you ever heard of Mary Kay, the makeup?
Yep.
Okay, well that'd be the highest, which is the most. Well, it's really high actually. The non-repetitive one, so the second one, the way they come face to face, but those aren't as important. Those would be like maybe like the encyclopedias, when people try to sell you an encyclopedia. It only happens a few times here and there. And then the other one would be a party plan, which just they bring you a whole group of people in and they try to sell you once. I mean, that doesn't happen a lot. It's kind of like on a certain basis when a person really wants to do that. So after hearing about what I said about direct selling, can you give an example of any other companies that do direct selling rather than what I stated? So you have the knives.
Yep.
So what is something that barely comes around once in a while?
Barely comes around, maybe dictionaries or have no clue really.
Okay. And then can you think of any company that does like a party plan where they sit you down inside your house with
like
30
food,
people?
like a lot of food, like what's it called? Tastefully Simple.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So after you got direct marketing and trying to get all the information back from the customers, direct selling is trying to get yourself out there. What's the best way to get information from a customer or to the customer?
Sending it to, like, maybe emailing them or doing like a questionnaire maybe.
Okay. Question: do you fill out all the emails and questionnaires that Bethany sends out?
No.
No. So, is there any other way you'd like to think that'd be the best way of getting their information out to you and try to get a response from you?
I don't know.
All right. Okay. Out of all the topics of direct mail, catalogs, broadcast media, which would be, commercials, TV spots, infomercials, stuff you see during the Super Bowl, Budweiser, that's how they do direct media, home shopping, print media, telemarketing. Out of all those, my personal one would not be email. It'd probably be TV spots or broadcast, because,
everybody watches TV.
Most people in America have a TV in their home, if not more than one, and even on every TV network, there's always commercials for something. So just to have that have people see that. It's a lot easier than having someone go to their mailbox, see something in the mail that's not not going to benefit you. You're just going to see it and go, oh, junk mail. So, and then the catalog. Unless you're really involved in that product, you're not really going to go flip through the catalog and try to figure it out. So, for me, the best way would be a TV segment. So, telemarketing, we talked about that. Why do you think it's gone down so much?
Because people got caller ID and won't answer it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Do you think the internet had anything to do with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot more people use the internet now than their phones and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, my answer to that to be why it's gone down is because the internet. Before the internet, our phone used to get hounded all the time from people trying to call, like trying to sell you something. But now you have internet. Now they're trying to get rid of that with spamware or whatever it is, spam.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that's telemarketing's gone to internet, so that's why I believe it's gone down. Do you think print catalogs, do you think they'll ever go out, or do you think they'll always be around?
I think they'll always be around because there's always someone that wants to just look through it. And sometimes when you're on the internet, you don't get everything. But in a catalog, I think you do.
All right. I agree with you because a lot of times when you want to look at things, you can have Victoria's Secret sends out a huge catalog. I don't look at that. I get a little awkward. But, a lot of people, they look at the Victoria's Secret catalog and they see it better. You get to actually touch it, the thing, and you can go back and forth. It's a lot easier. So, I mean,
Yep.
I agree with you that if there'd be certain segment of people that rather would have it right in front of them right there rather than try to go on the internet. So, that's good. So, Dylan, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for your answer, the base of the datas. And we're done.